This is the moment where you feel that you really need to take a risk. You really need to think outside the box. You really need to do something new.
And did you always have this entrepreneurship mindset?
To look at a job that can make you grow as an architect, not only to grow your bank account. That's where it's not only to have a diversity and gender equality. It's not just a tick in the box.
Your thoughts on work-life balance, especially in our industry that demands a lot.
From a business perspective, you really need to take advantage of that technology.
Talk to us about that, like the importance of giving back to our communities as architects.
If you ask me, Joe, like, what are some of your happiest moments in your life, I'll tell you that when
Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Lines to Legacies. I am joined by my co-host today, Irene Domingo. Hi, Irene.
Hi, Alex.
And for today, I'm so excited for our guest. We are joined by Joe Tabet, founder and architect of JT+Partners, an award-winning global design consultancies with offices in Dubai, Beirut, KSA, and Egypt. Since founding the firm in 2015, Joe has led JT+Partners in delivering innovative, socially and environmentally conscious projects worldwide, from Mango House, Seychelles, to One World Development in Lucknow, India, and the UAE's first and largest 3D printed mosque. Their latest venture, Treyam Resort in Neom, features the world's longest 450-meter rooftop infinity pool, redefining design, innovation, and experience. Recognized for its creative excellence, JT+Partners has received numerous international accolades, including the Autodesk Design and Make Awards, Construction Week Awards, and Loop Design Awards. Their visionary work has been featured in leading publications such as ArcDaily, Architizer, Design, and Design Middle East. In today's episode, we'll explore the entrepreneurial side of design, how vision becomes value, how leadership inspires creative teams, the role of community, and the future of design in an ever-evolving world. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Joe Tabet.
Thank you, really thank you for the invite. Thank you for UAP Dubai, and I look forward for the discussion. The moment they told me that we're gonna discuss architecture and design from a business perspective, I was so excited because I believe this part is very important for all architects. It's something that it's really good to explore, understand, and push the boundaries.
Tell us about JT+Partners. It started with a small team in a 100 square meter office in Dubai. From that inception period, what was your driving vision of being and now you're one of the world's most leading architectural consultancies. So what was the driving force back then?
Look, we didn't start in a 100 square meter office. I started from the lobby of Vida Hotel, and I was on my own. But before me being on my own, there is always a turning point in your life as an architect or as a human being, that this turning point in your life, it's either it will take you right, left, or it will keep you moving straight. So, my story before was for 14 years at Atkins, and I reached a moment where I felt that I did a good job where I am, and then now it's time to do something else, so to really explore. And that was the moment where you feel that you really need to shake it. And this is the moment where you feel that you really need to take a risk. You really need to think outside the box. You really need to do something new, or you will end up being in a like a same position, same moment, same job. You know what I'm saying? So that was like kind of a trigger for me to say that I'm gonna do something. When I took such decision, I didn't know what I was going to do. And that was very important. So there was a vision, a little bit of a plan or something that to explore something on my own. but it was never ever clear in my mind until the moment that you decide that I'm moving on. The moment you decide you're moving on, it is like the point of no return.
Yeah.
Once you are in the point of no return, that's where you make a move. You come out from your comfort and then you face reality and you say, here I am. And that's how JT and Partners started. And for the first 3-4 months, I was on my own, start trying to plan how we're gonna move ahead. Then I had a couple of people working with me. Then we changed again. Then we started the office in Dubai, and I thought we're gonna be 15 architects in the next 3-4 years. We might be like a total of 15 architects, and in the first 6 months we crossed 20, and that was like it was. That's where the moment you start feeling that you did the right move.
You talk a lot about intuition. How does intuition sort of influence your business growth strategy for JT and Partners throughout the years?
Look, it's very important. The moment you trust what you're doing, you trust the vision, and you trust the way you're moving ahead. That gut feeling that you have from the inside, you need to believe in it, and it's you need to create a balance between what the logic is and what that feeling from inside is. So you really need to balance it. Sometimes you balance it more towards the side, and sometimes you balance it more towards the logic and what the business side of things will tell you. But it's very important. You cannot always just follow the rules. Things in life, to be successful, they need to be flexible.
What was the challenges? What were the challenges that you faced along the way now that you've seen the kind of capacity that JT and Partners could do? Looking back, what were like the struggles that you're willing to share to our audiences?
Whoever is married and have kids will understand me. When you're raising your kids, it's like you always have this tough moments, beautiful moments, great moments, sad moments. You know, like you have this upside down, sleepless night to take care of your kids, and. So whenever it comes to business, it's the same. It's really the same that you really need to be always alerted, and it's like it's a moment like COVID in the year 2000, that in the year 2020 is like it was a moment that all of us we struggled, the whole world struggled. So it is a moment where you really need to directly remove the design hat, the architect hat, and then put the businessman hat, the entrepreneur hat, and then take actions immediately to protect not only the business, to protect your employees also. And this is like one small example that you really need to be careful about, that things will always happen, so you really need to always plan accordingly. And again, I'm gonna keep repeating the word flexible for a business that can be adjustable.
And did you always have this entrepreneurship mindset? Was it something you found innate in you? Like you mentioned earlier, you trust your gut feeling. How much of that was based on knowledge that you attained throughout your career before establishing JT?
I love this question, because like I never knew that I can be an entrepreneur until I started JT and Partners. I was an architect, creative person. I enjoy what I'm doing, and until the moment that I was like indirectly pushed to think outside the box and create JT and Partners, and the learning curve started from that day. So the first day that JT Partners was established, it was the day where Joe started to learn about business and how you do business, and then till today I'm still learning. And yes, like I never thought I'm gonna be an entrepreneur or to know how to deal from a business perspective, but I realized that I know about it when I started.
What's one lesson that you would tell your younger self when starting JT Partners, knowing what you know now? Like if you could go back in time and tell them, do this one thing or how know about this, what would you tell them?
I won't tell him anything. I'll just let him experience the same, because I'll tell you something, that I hear this question more often, but if you go back and change something, you might not be here today where you are. So leave it. Leave it. Work on it the way every day, day by day, and then you make your growth and you create your path while you're moving. I won't tell him anything. Let him suffer the way I suffered.
That's true.
Am I right?
Yeah, I do personally agree with that mentality as well.
Yeah, why to tell him?
But
Why to make life for him easier? No, let him suffer.
yeah, if you were to speak to kids these days, though, the youth, the generation now, young architects, young designers who want to achieve something in our industry, to achieve success in our industry, what would you tell them?
To be honest, like, I don't know, like, everybody at the moment is worried about salary. And this is really a sad moment. Because all the young architects, whenever I meet them or I interview them, I tell them, search for experience in the beginning. You really need to look at an experience, look at a job that can make you grow as an architect, not only to grow your bank account. Because when I came here 24 years ago, I had the opportunity to be in a company that will pay me that much against the company that will pay me in here. So I did kind of evaluation myself, and I said that I have time to go there. Let me build the foundation right in the beginning. And this is the moment where I advise all architects that they're coming out from universities or like in their beginnings. Do it right. Time will come. No need to rush. No need to rush. And this is my advice to them. You know what I mean? In anything you do in life, you really need to create a proper foundation. And when you're building a tower, you really need to have a proper foundation for the tower. So when there is an earthquake, that tower can resist the earthquake. So you as an architect or as a human being, you really need strong foundation. That strong foundation, it comes with you from the way you were raised, by your parents, by the community, the way you got your education. There are all these things that they come and they create your foundation. Then you will become an architect or an engineer or a doctor, whatever. In there, you really need to also build a stronger foundation. So when life will hit you,
Yes.
this foundation is gonna be the one that's gonna hold you properly of collapsing. And this is where I keep saying that do it right. Don't only look after the bank account and the salary. Yes, you really need a balance. I'm not saying that work for free, but I'm saying that choose wisely, build your experience in the beginning in a proper way. Why? Once you cross 10 years experience, that 10 years of experience, whatever you collected as knowledge, is gonna define for you the way forward in your career.
Completely agree. And that makes a lot of sense because the foundations are everything, like how you engage, like the values that you gain in your community or how you were raised up, and the values you choose for yourself can indicate a lot of your success in the future. Now, you mentioned your advice to young architects and designers. How do you filter them, or how do you choose recruits to join your team?
My famous word, whenever they ask me about how you recruit architects. Look, we as architects and designers and creative people, we are like a watermelon. You look at the watermelon and then really looks great on the outside. Am I right? And you will never know how the watermelon will taste until what? Until the moment you try it. So on the outside, the watermelon is like really great shape, the colors, whatever. And architects, they are the same. Until the moment you test them on the ground, then you will understand if they are really good architects. So the selection in the beginning, I always base the selection on the character and the personality, because this is the only thing I will see in front of me. So you will sit with an architect, any level, and then you look at their CV and you look at their portfolio. You know, like sometimes portfolio, 30% of the portfolio is made by the candidate, and the rest is like the company where they used to work. And that's why you cannot depend on that. So you depend on the character, the personality, and the knowledge that they have. That knowledge from university, the software knowledge, but the 70% is the character, the personality, that to see the creativity in his eyes, to see the passion, how eager he is to learn, how eager he is to share knowledge, which is something very important, and how eager he is willing to spread positivity around the floor in the office and to his colleagues. So that's why you always have a kind of a probation period. So you will see how they can adjust, because sometimes it's not the candidate. The candidate is not the issue. Sometimes the environment of any office, it might be suitable for you, might not be suitable for me.
Yeah.
So we can't always blame the candidate. So sometimes like the environment in the office, like I come from a different culture or different background or whatever, but selecting them in the beginning, like you really need to see a passionate person, a character, personality, they're talkative, they know how to talk, they know how to show confidence. All of this are criteria for a good architect. Because at the end of the day, we're creative people and we're salesmen at the same time. When you design a project, you really need to be able to sell it.
Yes.
So you really need to be having like a kind of a salesman experience, how to sell a product, why I need to sell, how I'm gonna convince my client that this product is the right product, not the other product. So architects, like they're the most rounded people around the world, in my humble opinion. Not because I'm an architect, because we see not three-dimensionally, we see beyond. You know, like we can visualize, we can imagine. Even when you're closing our eyes, we can close our eyes and then we can walk around the city. And this is how strong that being an architect, and all of this is reflected in your eyes, and then you can see it in the interview. But doesn't mean I always select the right people. I'm not you know what I mean? We always do mistakes. So but you learn.
Yeah.
So sometimes we select people, we had big hopes, and then it didn't work. But again, I will keep repeating, it didn't work maybe because of us, not because of the candidate. You got my point?
Yes.
So it's a mix. That's like as a quick summary, it's not about the portfolio, it's about the individual.
The individual. And if I may add on to that, you mentioned a lot about how flexibility is important in a company. When it comes to filtering and observing your candidates once they're in the probation period, how much of that flexibility do you have as a leeway as a company? Like you said, sometimes the company might not be the best fit for that candidate. Do you have any flexible approaches to try and see how they might be a better fit? Or
Look, we help them the way they help us, but at the end of the day, once you join a business, you need to work, you need to deliver. And in the beginning, why you put the probation period? The probation period, I believe, is a learning curve. It's a learning curve for both entities, both parties. It's a learning curve for the new candidate to really learn how we work and how we think, what is our vision and where we're going. And at the same time, for us to learn about that candidate, how much he can push himself, how much he can give us, And where are the strengths? Is it in design? Is it in project management? Is it design management? Is it in a business perspective? So these things are important. So this is where you really need to test and give the opportunity for each one of them. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes you read it from the first 1 month that there is no passion. If there is no passion, you can't do anything with it. It's not only in architecture, in everything. If you're not passionate about what you do, like both of you now, you come every Saturday and then half of your day because you're passionate about what you're doing. And that's why you're doing this. Am I right? Because you believe in it.
I believe in it. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's look, it's not rocket science what I'm saying, you know, like I'm similar like everybody, any company, any major, not only architecture, anything, they are all the same.
We'll be back after a short word from our sponsors.
So Irene, just a question.
Yep.
If you could go to Korea, what would you do? South Korea.
All right. If I could go to South Korea, I would love to visit the temples and palaces. Yeah, the Gyeongbokgung Palace. And I'd love to wear their traditional wear, the hanbok. And I just like to try to imagine what it would be like back in the ancient times.
And for me, I would love to visit Seoul Tower. See more of their, modern architecture. What's like, it's interesting, right? All this architecture, the built city.
Yes.
Amazing in Seoul. And what would you want to eat?
Oh, for sure, samgyeop.
I would go to have samgyeop with you in Korea.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And do you know that we can actually do it?
Yes, please.
If
How?
we book with MPQ Tourism,
Okay.
which is the sponsor for this video, by the way,
Okay.
they will actually plan out the entire 7-day itinerary for us from departure to arrival,
Nice.
everything taken care of.
Oh, we don't have to stress about when to transfer where, what bus
None of
to
that
take.
at all. Just you go there, you go to wherever you want to go, and then they bring you back.
Sounds fun. Let's get packing.
Let's get packing.
Yeah.
But before that, they should check out our show notes because all the information regarding MPQ Tourism is down there.
All right. See you guys in Seoul.
Yes, and thank you for sponsoring this video, MPQ Tourism.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
And now we're back to the episode.
I just love how you mentioned passion, flexibility, all this a lot. And you also have a passion not only for your work, but for some causes too. One thing that keeps on popping up is like your passion for gender balance and equality. It's something that you spoke about a lot. Talk to us about your belief in gender balance and equality, especially in our industry here in the Middle East.
Look, I believe that you really need to give everybody their chance in life without looking at their color or their nationality or their background or like their gender. I believe that it's like I believe in a proper balance because why the balance that I always keep talking about. The presence of a balance in a business environment is very positive. Instead of making the whole balance moving into one direction, that it's man environment, you know what I mean, and then or it's a female environment. Having this balance, it does create positivity. It does calm down the environment. And there will be more respect because a human being, like a man in front of a female, they will act in a good manner, respectful manner, than only like such kind of environment. But let me take it a little bit for like, man, they're gonna hate me now. Female architects or female in general nowadays, they're more focused. They're passionate, they are more focused, and they're like they give it full from their heart. It doesn't mean men they're not. The problem is that men, the way we were raised, and we are a provider. So we're always worried in our back mind because you're the family provider. So that's where the balance it will be, you know what I mean? But having this balance between the two is very important in my opinion. I don't know if I answered the question. Or you want to repeat it?
No, it's fine. It's good, and
Yeah.
this is a perfect point, because balance, especially in the workplace, and diversity even in the workplace, when you're collaborating and when you're starting to bounce off ideas, it's important that we have views from different perspectives as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Anybody. And that's why the multinational cultural approach of the GCC is really positive. Honestly. Multinational, multicultural. Like when you go in our offices, you will find like 20 nationalities. And from each one of them, you learn something from their culture. At the same time, you learn something from their the way their educational background, because education in Asia is different than education in Europe, is different than education in the Middle East. Having all of this as mix, and then you put them together, mix them all together, you can see the outcome. And this is where the diversity, it's very important. It's how to really use it for a better outcome. And that's where it's not only to have a diversity and gender equality and whatever. It's like what you really want to take out of that. It's not just a tick in the box. It's not a tick. If it's tick in the box, it's easy. It's easy. No, it's not. It's just what's the outcome? What's gonna be how I'm gonna add value to my product, to the company, to my clients by having this mix.
Another balance that is quite repeated in our industry, most especially, is work-life balance. Your thoughts on work-life balance, especially in our industry that demands a lot from the architects and designers?
Look, my daughter, she's studying architecture, and she's in 3rd year, and whenever she has a project to submit, I ask her like, what time you finished? And she will tell me I finished around 1 a.m. And then she slept and she woke up at 10. So she did a good 9 hours sleep. When I look in the back days, in the old days, we didn't sleep. Because technology. So I believe in the presence of technology. That's why I'm giving the example of my daughter. And she's studying in the same university where I studied. So when we used to do a project, everything was by hand. And if you do small mistake, you really need to repeat everything. And so we had sleepless nights. So we used to have 2 overnights in a row. And then we used to sleep after that for 3 days. Now it's different. There's the technology, you have softwares, you have applications, you have a lot of things that making things different. That's why, from a business perspective, you really need to take advantage of that technology, the advanced technology, and then try to see how it can make a good implication on the work-life balance. Because now you're faster in production. If you're faster in production, and you're still making overnights, you have a problem. We're architects at the end of the day. Sometimes, from time to time, in our offices at JT+Partners, we have longer hours, but that doesn't happen every month or every 6 months, or if from time to time when you have a big submission. You know what I mean? But I keep saying that I'm against overnights, which we don't do. I'm against this kind of long hours every day. And that's why we changed our timing in many occasions. And, like a trend in Dubai, 8 to 6, 8 to 6, 8 to 6, 8 to 6. So we were not able to make it 9 to 4 because from a business perspective, it doesn't work anymore. 1 plus 1, they won't add.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you really need to know from the business perspective also. You really need to understand commercial, financials, and then you need to understand the work-life balance. So we did it 8:30, 5:30 to allow people to really have a little bit of kind time for themselves. we push people not to work on Saturday, and we tell them, if you know how to manage your time, you don't have to do to have overtime or overnight or long hours or working on the weekends. So again, technology, we're becoming faster.
Yes.
You can have work balance.
And I believe that's important because the way that you touched on technology, especially with AI, with all of these new tools that we can use to actually make us more productive without it leaching into our personal times. You also mentioned a lot about passion and how adding value it's key to entrepreneurial success. My question is, where did this passion for architecture come from? Take us back to your younger years, to the early days of Joe. I understand you grew up in Lebanon, correct?
Yes.
You grew up in Lebanon. You were at a time where there was, I believe, war in your country.
100%.
Tell us about, like, from that point in your life, what were the lessons? Who were you looking up to? What made you decide to become an architect and pursue this path?
Look, I grew up in Lebanon, and they call us the war generation. So all what we were dreaming about is the survival mode. You just want to survive. You want to see the next day. So architecture was never on my mind at all. At all. And I had zero passion for creativity, or maybe because I was living the war, I never had the opportunity to face creativity. So at school, because of the war, like they used to squeeze the 9 months into 4 months, so they teach you the what is more important. So you don't go into your elective and do art and do whatever. Just let's focus on the proper one. Until the day where I finished high school, and then I wanted to go to uni, and that was the moment of truth where like everything's went blank. I said like, what I'm gonna do now? I did it. I finished. I have a high school. But what I'm gonna do? So first I wanted to become a doctor. You know what I mean? Because it's a trend. You know, you can be a lawyer, a doctor. Like I'm talking like 25 years, 26, 27 years ago, you know what I mean? No, more, even more. I was 18 then. So, so what you're gonna do? I'll become a doctor. And then I realized that I don't want to be into medicine. So between school and my first year of architecture, and this is something I want everybody to learn about it, even like student at high school, I had gap of 3 years in my life. And because I was searching like what I really want to do. And at the end of the first year after high school, where I was like mainly doing nothing, I met a friend that she was into architecture, studying architecture. And I was looking like, that's interesting. What's that? You know what I mean? So, one day we were all together and she had to submit a project. And she asked me can you help me here doing this? And the moment I took the pen, it was the rotring, you know what I mean? The one.
Yes.
The moment I took it, I felt that, oh my gosh, there is and then I started. And the moment I started, I was not able to stop. And then after that, it took me 2 years to be able, I was rejected in each and every architecture school in Lebanon for the 2 years after that, until I was successful at the end. So my first year of architecture, when I started architecture, my friends from high school, they were finishing their last year
in university.
At university, wherever. So, and I was very passionate about it. And that's how it happened. So nothing from before, it was a moment. It was that moment where I was asked to do something, and then it came a message. It was meant to be honest. That's how
Right.
I see it.
Yeah.
It was meant to be. I didn't force it. I didn't push it. It's the same my daughter. It's the same my daughter. She came like she was in a grade 11. She said that I want to do architecture or art, whatever. I didn't push on her, and I asked her, go get the paper and the pencil. And we sat I remember, in the kitchen on the table. I said that, how long you've been living with me in this house? And she said like 4 years. I told her, very good. Don't go anywhere. Can you sketch the plan of the house?
Yes.
Can you sketch the plan of the house? Just the gabarit from outside, and then how the rooms and the planning. So she did it. Yes, for sure, there was no proportion, but there is the main idea of like a wall shifted, one in, one out, whatever. And then when she did it at the end, I said that you can be an architect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all depends. Each one of us, some of us like architects that it was born with them from day one. They were like at 4 years, and then they can sketch and they can do.
Now, in hindsight, like since you mentioned about the birth of where your passion came for architecture, you also mentioned in your interviews that giving back to community is important. It's something that you hold personally important. Talk to us about that, like the importance of giving back to our communities as architects, especially growing up in your country where you experienced war.
This is something that I believe. I'm a big believer. You know what I mean? And I came to this country where like I was really at the lower level. I was having $500 and was like in big debt of $100,000, and I believe that God told us that when you reach, don't forget. So when you reach, don't forget. And because like I believe there are like many people around the world in the same position like me, that they want to go, they want to have that that support. I didn't get that support. The support that I received is the moment I landed in Dubai, and the opportunity opened for me. So it's very good to take care of the community. It's very good to take care of student. Now JT+Partners is sponsoring. We've been like for the last 4 years sponsoring around 12 students full scholarship in architecture in Lebanon, in one of the universities, and we do support Children Cancer Center in Lebanon, and in Dubai we did a lot of supported organization and people that they really in need. It's very important, I believe. And if you ask me, Joe, like, what are some of your happiest moment in your life? I'll tell you that when I know that somebody is in need and we supported him. It's very important. And then this is, by the way, it's a personal belief, you know, you cannot impose it on anybody. But it's very important that when you reach, you really need to look back and take care of the community around you. Any community that you feel that you would like to support. That's very important.
Yeah.
And I think that's very inspiring, because even earlier we were talking about, I mean, before our podcast started, we were talking about how when you were a kid, you had no idea about what the world of architecture was like. And it's good to know that you didn't forget the people that raised you, that brought you to where you are. And then not only are you looking after your team in your company, but you're also looking after the people in the community around you.
100%. You know, like once they asked me, I watched a interview with a very successful businessman from Canada, and they asked him that like, what is the bad thing for you to give back to the community? And he said that creating more jobs. The more you create jobs, the more you recruit people,
Yeah.
and then the more you provide. So,
Yes.
and this is something very important. It's something very important. You really need to be able to do something. And then I feel that God supported me and showed me the way to be where I am. And then I'm supporting now my team, their families. We support the community. It is, I believe this is a cycle of life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
You're sharing your blessings,
We
paying
share
it forward.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What I'm taking from our conversation as we try to wrap up this entire conversation is that you spoke a lot about passion and how you use that passion to create value for other people, not only for the end users, but also to your own, to the people who work for JT and Partners. And now, once you have established that value, you give it back to the community in general. And I think that step-by-step process of passion to value to giving back to community is what JT is all about.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I would like to thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you for having me, and I wish you all the best with the podcast and UAP. I saw them growing in the last 8-9 years. I'm happy, and we are all proud of you, and all the best. And I hope this podcast will add some value to whoever is gonna listen to it. And thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
Joe. It was a
so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Lines to Legacies is a production by the United Architects of the Philippines Dubai chapter. It's directed by me, Alexis Reyes. Edited by Marvin Berses and Surzan James Gulay. Research and writing by Katrina May Lim and Marivic Matiliano. Hosted by Alexis Reyes, Irene Domingo, and Monica Morebi. Special hosts are Patrick Soriano and Carmina Austin Mamangun. Guest coordination by Van Adrian Latigay. Social media managing by Norlene Clarice Felizario, Edna Marie Optinalia, and Ran Dudang. Production design by Onofre Giao and Junilin Gallo. Operations is by Chris Garcia. Introduction is by Camila Latigay. And the podcast beat was produced by Patrick Soriano. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Lines to Legacies. See you next time on another episode of Lines to Legacies, a production by the United Architects of the Philippines Dubai chapter.